things is here you go. FM eSports versus Endpoint. Mirage going to be the scoreline. Here we go.
FM on that CT side. Team Endpoint to attack first here. And they're heading straight down B, straight into a three-man stack from FM. Nilzinho, Stanley, and Pulse to hold this side as Nilzinho jumps up looking for the info. Flashbang in hand, ready to throw it out. He spots out a couple. Now here comes Endpoint straight on in. The rotate's already there from FM, but are they going to be quick enough, Rickson, to open things up straight onto Nilzinho? But Pulse, so confident, so consistent with 2 and a third onto Rickson's head. It's all done here. They don't even need the cavalry, but May will come anyway. Pulse with a 4K onto Mighty Max. What a confident start from FM.
That's where it all begins, right? It's getting yourself that foothold going. All right, we're here to play, boys. We got that pistol round, and now we are going to start off strong. UMP City is going to be the call to be made as they get themselves up to triple, maybe a quadra buy of UMPs. Stanley just going to rock it on the low side of things, right? He wants to kind of curve that economy into an AWP in the kind of latter end of the next few rounds. So I like this from him. Doesn't quite invest, but keeps that CZ, which is pretty damn healthy.
It's an incredible start, really, here from FM. Now, can they push it any further? It's all looking forward to I-60, right? This Easter weekend. Seeing if the Easter Bunny will come up tops for everyone. Will they bring the chocolate eggs, that is this deliciousness of a win at I-60 to finish the UK Masters? Well, certainly for FM, a good start as the UMPs start to build up the economy, but quick trade back. 2 Deagle shots into the heads of Weber and Frey. Things are not as it seems so far. Still a chance for Endpoint to be able to get a plant.
It's going to be that close brawl, right? Both these teams kind of butting heads. They're really going to be locking horns now, trying to make the best of what they've got. But at the end of the day, it's still FM with that clear firepower advantage. The only curveball is going to be Rickson. As the Odo with the Deagle takes down Pulse, drops on towards the site, gets that bomb plant. You can already see the pillars being put in place by FM to make this retake happen. What do I mean by that? Well, the position of Stanley.
Will he be able to do enough? Oh dear. Ian finds another Stanley with the CZ. He didn't have the UMP of others. The frag grenade goes out. It's very low health, but it doesn't quite connect enough. Now Stanley to push forward. He finds the bomb. He has the defuse kit. Will be able to find the frag. He does. A 1 versus 1. He takes the bomb, tags it, pushes Ian out, and Ian will close things out of 3K here with the Deagle. Incredible play from Endpoint to strike back. And they're able to reset the economy a little bit for FM. Of course, the UMPs, it builds up a bit of economy, so they might just commit to a buy here, and that's exactly what they will do. CZs, UMPs, Deagles, and that M4 on Stanley, but the rifles are there for Endpoint as well.
The tools are there, but does that mean they know how to use them already? You can see Endpoint beginning to try and formulate control of mid. That's what they're pretty much trying to build into here. Get that control of mid, try and exert the pressure onto these pistols. Make sure they don't get too much breathing room. The concern will be those kind of stray shots that come down from short and connect it. If FM can try and squash Endpoint in, that's painful, but so far so good. Mighty Max and Ezio both combining. That's going to be 2 frags for them. Stanley at least going to cut back onto 1, taking down Imi, but it's looking good. It's happy so far. Weber going to look for those stray shots and just finds just another, but trades for Endpoint always certainly favour them.
Certainly does. The bomb gets planted. It's 3-2 now. Mighty Max looking for Stanley, and now it's all on Frey here as he pushes up ladder room looking for a better position. He's just going to make himself a pacifist here. Not looking for anything, just the exit frags, not wanting to go into the site. We'll run into Ezio, does shoot him up. Nice little stretch there from Frey. That's it. Team Endpoint able to get 2 in a row. The bomb explodes. And FM, a dominant lead in that first pistol round. It's just not going to come forward.
A dominant lead is one thing, but at the end of the day for Endpoint, it's just 2-1. It's so early that there really kind of isn't too much prominence to write off the back of it. It is just the idea of that strong start, getting yourself in the right place at the right time. For now, they've got the rifles, they've got the UMP and such. It's all looking pretty good for them. The sun, it's come up pretty good. But FM, they still have a bit of firepower to toy with them. You can still kind of look towards Fry and say, what are you gonna show for us in this one? Is it going to be that same old pacifism where they just fall short and eventually pay the price of that as Endpoint eat them alive, or are we going to see a bit more counter-aggression coming from FM as they try and go and make some plays with these USPs? I think I do kind of lie towards the latter. I think that's much more where the value is just better found for a CT side in this position. But at the end of the day, they want it 2 for 2.
Weber opens things up onto Ezio, caught out with a switch of the weapon. This should be an easy round for Team Endpoint. They need to not walk into a problem here. Split up, make it clean, make it easy. Like Gandhi doing yoga, it just comes so naturally. But will they be able to find the kills? Fry finds 2 and it's all on over. The easiness not there, and it's only this. Imi falls on back. Just so many throws here, back and forth. What's happening here, Flakes? Try and describe how that went wrong.
It's very much all over the place. I think it's a bit of an eaten mess, I guess is the best way to describe it if you want a literal definition of, a literal word, sorry, to kind of sum it up. But I think, yeah, at the end of the day, it is just a bit madness with these pistols, right? They're given too many windows of opportunity to create space, and once that space is created, then they go for the 1 versus 1, and it all really chalks up to just dodginess from both of these teams. They've got to get better. But at 2 for 2, FM wanted it. Well, you ask and you shall receive. You don't ask if you don't get at the end of the day. It's all about trying. So you can't knock them for going at it. Endpoint, they just made it happen for them. So far in this round, at least with the firepower, it is going to be some quick trades backwards and forwards. And FM, well, doing what Endpoint couldn't. Keeping it for the most part clean. They do lose pulse in the process, but it's looking pretty ship-shape right now.
Yep, just Ezio left alive with that Tech 9. And he will be shut down by Nilzinho. A back and forth game. Does open your eyes, does make things a little bit curious. Where's this one going to go? Who's going to get that foot in the door? But now, it just seems so hard for Endpoint. The pistol's out. FM should be able to gain a lead for themselves, push this to 4 to 2. I don't want to see Endpoint slipping away from this game, because that's when that stomp starts to happen.
They don't want to be blinded right now. Driving, this matchup blind is not going to do them any good at all. They've got to be focused, eyes open, aware of what is going on. Already, you can see some frags rolling in, though it is going to be FM, just for the most part, keeping this one pretty damn thunderous. This Fry is going to mop them up, aided, of course, by Stanley and Nilzinho, as they both contribute to a successful round. 4 for 2. Endpoint have to buy here. They have to go into this one swinging. If they screw this up, FM have been handed a pretty strong start that was completely role reversal of what we expected, considering Endpoint, they were the ones in the lead. It's kind of almost train all over again from what we saw earlier on today. Right. Will be CX like magic for Endpoint. Doesn't seem like it, as FM have the lead. The 8Ks come out now. We want eyes on the ball for Endpoint. Need to open up strong. They need to gain the map control. Not much pressure over towards mid. All stacking up over towards A instead. Imi is there. Underpass. Nilzinho going to peek on forward, but Imi's able to connect the bullets, and now they're pushing straight onto A. Pole's just caught on out. It's going to be Fry from underneath. The crossfire with the AWP. Weber with 2. Fry another. It's only Imi left alive. The bomb's on the floor. What can Imi do here? The answer, not really too much at all. He's in a 1 versus 2. We always talk about getting a bit of a gap closer here, right? And that's kind of what you want. You want to take the gap. You want to thin it down, and then you want the 1 versus 1. It's a whole package. But there is no salesman offering me a cheap deal or get out of free jail card. He's got to do it all himself. And this is going to be difficult. They're both playing towards CT. They're going to try and entrap him on towards the site. He's got to go for that bomb, of course. They've got eyes on it. Imi, 30 seconds, peeking on forward. He doesn't know exactly where they are. The flashbangs come out, trying to make him blind like Stevie Wonder driving a car, and that will be the round going to FM eSports. 5 to 2. Endpoint not able to pull one forward, and it was all a hard game for Imi. Hard game, a hard life. And for Endpoint, they are going to be having to pretty much slap a quick band-aid off onto towards this one now, as it isn't going to be looking too good for them. Going to be sat with pretty much the latter end of a positive scoreline, 5 for 2. Just pistols and such in this one, Tech 9s yet again, and the Deagles, of course, the old standard stuff. They do have the smokes. Now, this intrigues me. They've gone for so many smokes and the combination of flashes here that they can get a really healthy execute down on towards A, which we know they're lining up for. It's pretty, damn obvious. But Fry being close with his A-kick could completely change this one now.
Certainly is. Spots all of Endpoint there. Only finds 2, but 2's enough. Oh, it's these Deagles once more. So dangerous, but it's 3 versus 4. Weber going to push up with this AWP, looking for Ezio, but Ezio has an AK in hand, and now they're going to pick up this AWP as well. Pulse and Ninja going to find one. Going to try and stop this bomb from being planted, but Ezio's doing the damage, and now he spots Nilzinho as well. He knows where everyone is, and he goes on forward. He finds everything. Ezio, a nightmare for FM, as it's just Stanley here. 1 versus 2.
So much for him to do here, that's the problem. But he gets the long duel, takes down Mighty Max, looks to go down towards the second, gets away with it on towards Ezio. Somehow, Stanley pulls through.
Wow. Incredible. This is a lovely game. It's like a love movie. Like La La Land.
Good
Incredible.
Movie. Would rate. Can you sing us a song from La La Land?
Oh,
While you're on that thought process?
No, I can't.
Oh.
Because I haven't seen it. It's a technical pause. What I can... Have you seen that meme, though?
Well, show me a meme.
The meme that's like, you know, it shows... it's like Dipsy Land, Tinky Winky Land, La La Land, and then it's like Poland, but when it shows Poland, it's just the Polish flag.
Honestly, I don't know what memes you've been looking at, but I'm a little bit worried for your search history. Leah, if you're out there, make sure you check
That's
into...
Like, it's a double joke. It's like the best kind of memes.
Check into Dow's every now and then. Make sure he's all good, right? Because I feel like he's got a few problems hidden in the closet. Clearly, you need a BAFTA award for your acting there. Back to the game, though, at hand. Musicals and all those very odd references aside. At 6-2, FM started off ever so strong. They won Inferno 22-19, as the beautiful graphic will inform us ever so slightly so. And it means that starting off like this as well really is that kind of act of defiance, almost, towards Endpoint. Endpoint wanted that strong start. They had everything they needed, but CX kicked in. They came here and they basically told them, right, boys, screw up, make a small mistake.
Right.
And FM played off the back of it. We saw some chains of rounds, some backwards and forwards ones, but it all resulted in the same thing. In this one, it is going to be that back and forward stride. An early trade for both teams. Does mean that they are going to be without 2 players. Ezio and Stanley both strong in nature, but Weber just going to force the issue towards mid, somehow making it work. There's a whole load of damage towards Snods as well, through the smoke. FM in control of just another round.
6-2, and the control's there. Endpoint, they've certainly been making a case for them, stealth stabbing in the dark. But FM, they turn the lights on, they shine on forward. Endpoint just haven't been able to get back into this game after a bit of an early lead. Now, a push towards B, it seems. Fry gets all the information that they're not over towards A. They could be in mid, they could be anywhere. They can rotate from B very quickly, and that's exactly what they're doing. Down through underpass, over towards mid. What a great camera angle that was. Whoa. Just caught me off guard.
So shocked by the camera angle, of course. There's a reason why Observer is #1 on Reddit. Either way, though, let's keep that focus. I want to keep this focus. It's so important. Imi going to be looking to curve it a few shots down towards B, but his action here is all but based in a flanking move. He is going to dip dive down in towards underpass, though. Start to change things as the shape is going to move on forward. Endpoint building up into one-pronged attack, bit of a rectangle through connector, but it all falls short. Pulse going to do the damage. Mops it up with a triple kill for him as he does the job.
Insane, Pulse. Absolutely insane. But like, you think Pulse is insane? Look at Fry, right? 16-2 at round 10. These players are insane. They're just showing up here. Team Endpoint aren't able to do anything. On the Tech-9 train, rushing down mid. Choo-choo, straight into Pulse's hands. A chance for him to spray on down. The first goes his way onto Snods, but here comes Imi from behind, looking for the backstab. Fry has his back. These guys, the dream team for FM. Will they be able to hold it all together? Weber loses his life, but it's Stanley there once more, looking for 2. They're about to check onto him. Mighty Max able to overwhelm. It's a 2 versus 2, and they've regained the guns here, but Fry is still alive, and he will find Ezio. Mighty Max with that AWP.
Pops off a few shots, but doesn't lead to too much at all, as Fry is going to take him down, and FM, the crazies as you seem to be referring to them as, take it 8-2. so far, so good for them. They've really just walked all over Endpoint. But it takes two to tango. Endpoint have partaked in this crime. They gotta fix it. They're starting to really be lost all over the place. They show up like a beaver, and they fall to pieces.
Weber is knocked down. Rickson's able to find that kill. What can Neilzinho do with the AWP? Through this smoke, will not find anything. Imi trying to challenge towards B. The man advantage for Endpoint so far. It's a good start for them, but Pulse once more pushes and finds that kill onto Imi. Makes things look easy here on our screens. Frey in connector. Mighty Max's head. Rickson, he won't be able to find the 3 versus 3. The bomb in connector, and they're pushing closer and closer. Neilzinho in jungle. Snods looking for Pulse with the AWP will find. Makes things very difficult. A 2 versus 3, and Stanley pushing up from behind. Can they get onto the site? Here FM to stop this bomb from being planted.
Waiting patiently. Neilzinho striking in from CT. Looks to go for the collateral, but only just finds one, but repeats. Doesn't get the second. But Stanley swings in from ramp and does it all. 9 for 2. And this match is seeming pretty much just done and dusted. This is a lock-in for FM.
Right.
And they are loving life. Endpoint, where did it all go wrong for them on Mirage? Bear in mind, this is the team who are exceptionally strong on this map. But we discussed this. We said there was 2 very distinct realities of where this goes. Stomp or close match. This is feeling like a stomp. FM, they're dropping the gauntlet. Mighty Max at least finds that opening frag, but the opening frag doesn't seem to be changing anything at all, as it is just constant repetition from FM. They're always able to bring it back into clutch rounds, and when it comes to a clutch, FM are flawless.
They certainly are. Stanley now looking to put the pressure on. Neilzinho has the bomb in his sight, and anyone who crosses to get it will be under pressure. But wow, Mighty Max, what a quick shot! Will be shut down from Stanley. Now the site is theirs. It's only Fry. Can he do it once more? An impossible task for him, but he's shown it so many times, this guy. Absolutely insane. The bomb in the hands of Snods as they make their way over to the B side. They're putting as much distance between them and Fry as possible. You'd think this is a round that Endpoint can secure now.
You would think, and it should be. Everything is there. All the ingredients are perfect. There's nothing wrong at all. But Fry is going to try and really force this one into a bit more of a messy scenario. Burn it to a crisp, he says. Gets himself ready on towards short, raring on forward now, looking for 2 1 versus 1s. That's the ideal world here. Throws a Molotov out one towards bench, will try and force that peak to come on through. If he can go to the left side, that's a frag for him, but instead he continues his journey forward, looks to the right though, and that's going to catch him off guard. Snods is going to take him down, and Endpoint, they pull through. A clutch round finally denied for FM. And look at how much money they do not have. Endpoint have kept every single round close, harping back to that phrase of Clutch King.
Right, that's exactly what we're saying, you know. Endpoint, they've been competitive in all their rounds, they just haven't been able to convert it to kills. If you had a look at how many members were alive from FM after each round, you can see that it's not many, it's 1s, it's 2s. And so that economy has not been building this entire time, and it's reflected here in the purchases. 3 M4s, the CZ for Stanley and Neilzinho on that UMP. A chance, really, for Endpoint to start pushing their case. 9 to 3, it's not a pretty scoreline, but a chance for them to come back and make it more respectful. Bring it to more of a 6-9 like Inferno. Except this time they're on the downside. It's all on Endpoint to convert some of these kills, some of these advantages they've been achieving in the early stages of the round. Make sure that that after plant scenario is held on for them.
Need to come in from a short, and Imi gonna get himself that quick drive-by on towards Stanley. So far, so good. Ezio gonna wait ready. Catch off Fry, and this is all falling into place for Endpoint, keeping it crispy clean. As it is just 1 frag to be claimed from Weber, just the 1 for FM. And this leaves them with nothing left at all. At 9 to 6. The score and looking ever so fated to reach that destination. As FM, they cannot afford anything at all with this. Just USPs, just Eagles. It's a flat eco. The only excuse is 2 flashes.
These flat ecos have been very exciting though. Usually they go the way you expect, but just sometimes we see a little bit of magic flakes from FM. A chance to shut down the momentum in a round you wouldn't expect. Will they be able to do so? It should, and we say should so sparingly, I feel, because we understand that the norm has just not been existing here. Endpoint, they need to get on the right track before they get derailed once more. I think a single derail could just spell their disaster in this map, and oh, Weber does get spotted through the smoke. Now Paul's pushing forward, but it's easy for Ezio with the M4 up close. Fry behind, looking to be the backstabber. Going to run into Rickson as Nilzinho and Stanley make their way over to B.
Rickson with the rifle takes the individual on towards Fry, gets away with it, and bit by bit, the pillars all fall into place. There's a game of chess right now that FM, they were excelling at the start, but Endpoint, they're making that comeback happen. For now, all they got to do is keep it clean. One more head to find Stanley, holding so close. Ezio is going to be just on the other side of that wall. If he peeks into this, then he's pretty much guaranteed a loss, but thankfully, Mighty Max will come in from behind from CT, take him down, and Endpoint, they get themselves just another on the board. That 9-6 looking ever so likely now, but we do have one final obstacle for them to jump on over, and that's going to be FM on this full buy in this 15th round.
Endpoint. Keep the momentum alive, boys. FM. They stomped out the fire that Endpoint have going for them. A 10-5 heading into the second half. Endpoint would be so stuck to come back from that. Cannot afford to give this round up for Endpoint. The pressure on the pistol just becomes immountable. A 6-9 necessary. Slow play though. Endpoint spreading across the map, looking for some control in this scenario. The bomb making its way over towards A ramp. But there's a stack there between Pulse and Fry, both looking to stop it. And look at this, Nilzinho up against two is going to be Imi, and it's going to be Rickson. The trade there, a 1-for-1. Not much yet though. Fry, he fleeks. Ezio pushes forward, but Fry another 2 so far in this round, and this A push, it becomes hard. Snod's up close against Fry, looking to drop down. Fry has been on point. Under dark, will he be able to find any more? Stanley rotates and finds Rickson. Here comes Snods, finds Fry and firebox, and it's all on Snods. Comes forward with the bomb, but little does he know there's a man on CT, a man in connector, just ready to take him out.
Snods, dead set, locked in on CT, waiting for that shoulder to appear. Gets himself set up, volleys off a shot, but doesn't quite connect. Now he falls back, looks towards Sandwich, but goes back towards CT, lands the shot. The crucial one goes for the no-scope, but that doesn't connect, just an inch away from its original target. And that allows Stanley to get himself on this defuse quick as anything. There's another round to roll through the fingers of Endpoint. 10-5 is going to be the scoreline. Close, but still, you got to give credit to Endpoint for bringing it back to 5. That's something at least, and I think that's at least where we can draw a little bit more positivity towards, considering just how bleak things were. You know, look at that 6th or 7th round. It was looking disastrous. We'd already pretty much said the game was done and dusted. So at least 10-5, it's standard Mirage. It's very much a samey sort of scoreline. You see it a lot in UKCS.
It's flipped though. Maybe standard Mirage if FM were on the CT side.
I think in UKCS, sides on Mirage are a very so-so thing. I think on Tier 1 CS side, be wholeheartedly agreeing with you right now, but with a lot of these UK teams, sides on Mirage are very wish-washy in terms of statement.
Sure. FM though, on the attack, making their way up mid. There's a 3-man stack, one in the window. Imi, head blown off, but Ezio at the top of mid, starting to spray down, and he has support as well. That's 2 for him, and Fry will fall back. The bomb still making its way though towards that A site, where currently Mighty Max behind the smoke, trying to hold it against Weber, trying to hold it all together. He's taking them both down. Nilzinho so low, but Mighty Max lower. They're going to fall back though here. Start making their way over towards B. Rickson still at the top of mid will tag towards Fry. Will Endpoint be able to realize that this rotate is coming towards B though? Seems that way. Sending Rickson, no, Snods to reinforce. 50 seconds left. FM trying to play these mind games, going to run straight into Rickson.
That's disastrous, though. That gives them an opportunity to just keep on shooting, keep on doing damage, bring it to even worse of a standpoint now. Longer range shots from Nilzinho, but he tags his teammate in the back, dropping me even lower. As the going gets tough for FM. A 2 versus 3. 30 seconds coming up on the clock. The bomb standing towards B, and Snod's aggression in towards Apps. It's the perfect recipe for Endpoint. This should be around a pistol round for their favour. The Snod holds, looks for the tap, gets them ever so low, looks to double down, finds one, finds a second. Snod's going to be doing great work for Endpoint as the scoreline pushes on forward. 10-6.
So crucial there for Endpoint. 10-6, you say, and they can push it to a bit more of an even match. I think if they lost that pistol round, they were hard stuck to even come back into the game.
Let's hold for 1 second, though.
Sure.
Because we've had this conversation, and then we got caught out.
Right.
We saw a second round force up, and it completely blistered their opposition. So let's look at these Tech 9s. Because FM are going to look to just dart out, capture these rifles off guard. The SMGs, should we say. It's just a 5-man set of SMGs as usual. So let's just hold our horses. Let's look at this round in particular, because this is a one to watch. Already, you can see some early movement. FM, they've got control of mid, but an age-old saying is, sure, you're being very organic. You've got control of mid, but where are you going to go from it? What can you do with it? Well, you boost up in the window, Stanley says, gets himself the Tech 9 shot on towards Snods, and forces this CT side to have to contemplate going aggressive on towards A. But the problem there is they're getting squashed in from all sides. You see, at least Rickson trying to work with one. It is going to be Max to twist it into a second. But it's just a flank coming in.
Pulse able to push onto the B side, makes room. Kanemi hold it together from window here in the shop, looking to clean up the mess. Detergent in front of him, but he spots the cross. Now they know it's B. 45 seconds, Weber with the bomb on the site, looking to start planting it, looking to get it down as Pulse holds firm with his Deagle. A 3 versus 2 and a defuse kit in Rickson's hands. Endpoint with a chance to break on forward and stop this Eco purchased the Tech 9 train from ruining them. They need to play it perfectly though still, and a good start is Ian. Imi able to find the first. Pulse upgrading to a UMP. Finds the first, finds the second. Oh my gosh, Pulse looking for an ace, and he finds it like one crazy hairy beaver. He just annihilates these guys with the UMP, and it happens once more. Flakes the god to predict the upset, and it's all on Pulse again.
So close. A quadra kill on the round for him. Stanley just nipping away, denying that ace. But at the end of the day, it's absolute madness. Pulse steps up, and I told you to be warned. And that's why. 11-6. FM look to shut this one down, and they're just a few rounds away from doing just that. They have control over Endpoint. They're dangling them in play. A scout. Some pistols. It's a botched job for Endpoint as standard. Can they do anything with it is the question.
This is where things start to become bleak, and it's happened so often. Maybe we have the double reset, maybe we just go back and forth, maybe it's like the first round, the first half, but it doesn't seem to be the way, as Fry will open up onto Rickson, this scout there on Mighty Max. Such a hard weapon to make use of, you have to be so on point. And these UMPs up close can just annihilate it. Imi pushing up, Deagle, he may spot the rotate as they move over towards A, and yes he does. Pulse will be dropped. Will they be able to do anything about it though, as Stanley will trade?
FM keeping it well held together. Endpoint trying to slap on a bit of duct tape to solve their problems. But what really does that do? What does that add? Well, it's a short-term fix, not a long-term fix. FM, they're in this one for the long run. They're doing the work. And it's all leading pretty damn good. Endpoint already backing away from this, like, conceding. They know they're done and dusted. They don't want to feed the machines now, the UMPs. They're just letting it rip. The rifle, Stanley, just going to stop any sort of exit coming in from Mighty Max as well. And leads us to this fateful point. Looking at Ezio, staring at a wall, admiring the cracks in it, as he realizes that the best case scenario for him is to try and save out that UMP. Wait to see if anyone's going to come in towards Connector. As it is just that, a waiting game.
Bit of money. An AK. Not too bad, but he loses it to the bomb, unfortunately. Couldn't push out. It was his death notice if he did. Now that 12-6 on the scoreboard, and Endpoint without the money to be able to really double down into those M4s, get them rolling. It's looking like it should be a 13-6 here. So they would be 2 away from that match point. And this is when things for Endpoint start to unravel. If they're not already, it's certainly now. Pulse takes down Snods. They've lost one already. A second into Pulse's AK. A third, a fourth maybe even. As he pulls out the Glock, the candy apple. And he will find that fourth. Incredible. Just Pulse things, really.
FM, they're so close from just shutting this one down. It really is looking like a devastating 16-6, 16-7 at this point. Endpoint are running out of chances to show what they're made of. Mirage was their playground. Mirage was the map that I expected to be a 16-12 or 16-13. Yes, I still thought FM would take victory, but I didn't expect Endpoint to be losing it this bad. It's been rough. There haven't really been too many positive signs for Endpoint. Already, they lose their first player. Rickson, unable to achieve anything at all, and 0 impact in the round.
And now for Endpoint, one of their last chances to get a foothold back into this game. They lose this, and it might just be donezo. And look at the passive holds. They're not even holding up against FM. They're allowing them to push into the site. After losing Rickson, they just don't want to face up against FM. They want FM to push in. They're going to allow FM full control of the map. It's a complete stark difference from the style FM shows where they are so aggressive in your faces. FM haven't even brought the bomb with them. They're just out for kills. They're out for blood.
You can see it in their eyes. You can see it in the way they're playing. As they just waltz out onto the site. They acting like they own the place, really. They are the rebellious kids right now. As they find themselves frags left, right, and center. Stanley, Neilzinho, both combining, both finding frags, as mentioned. Mighty Max to try and do some damage. Finds one. Swindles it into a second. To at least make the dream a little bit more alive and kicking. With 30 seconds left, he could go huger if he can charge on forward and take down Neilzinho. But it's looking like a bit of a struggle yet again. But he makes it stick. A triple kill. He tries to hold off this B-side. A Molotov to go down, acting as the perfect block between those two pillars. Peeking out, looking for a bit of a stray headshot here and there. But finally, he's going to be laid to rest as Fright will do the work with the AWP, allowing Snods now to try and be that clutch play. Now, he should see that bomb carrier, but he doesn't. He doesn't see the bomb planter even. Tough stuff.
Certainly. And economy tough as well. Do we see a pause? No. Team Endpoint won't.
What do they change in a pause, though, is the question straight away. I think on the CT side, pausing is very tough, right? Because for Endpoint in this situation, they're being given no room in these buy rounds at all. It's constant aggression and constant one-off rounds from FM that have been well thought together. But it means that Endpoint have no breathing room, and with no breathing room, they just can't change things up. It's so tough for them. I don't think a pause, honestly, would help them at all. The only value they could get from a pause is if they just sit back for a second and don't even talk, just stay silent, and just think as individuals.
Holy moly, Ian showing his Neo show as he just darts through the bullets untouched. They thought there was no one there. He's able to find a frag for himself, but as quickly as we spotted it, it is the rest of his team just falling apart, and Neilzinho through the ticket booth, just spraying him down. There's the match point. A chance now for FM to put Endpoint out of their misery. A full buy to come from Endpoint as they purchase on up. Get ready to try and fight back. But at 16 or 15-5, it's a road less traveled.
We can already tell where your prediction lies just based off that statement. I think it's a fair shout as well, really. Endpoint, they're going to be going all in with the double up setup. They're looking to make sure that Mighty Max and Snots can do the best possible thing with these orbs. Try and catch them off when they push. So far, so good. Fry darts out a ramp and meets his comeuppance, meets his maker. But the jig is up. FM will now know what the play of Endpoint is going to be, and they'll respond. Neilzinho already snapping back, just cracking away at Mighty Max. The whip continually slapping in the faces of the CT side. Of course, they're going to collapse him from connector. Whether to take down Ezio towards B, it doesn't matter what site FM want at this point, because the map is their oyster. Snods, and he finally respond to bring it to a 2 versus 2. But even then, look at that position of Stanley.
Certainly. Right up behind Snods. Snods feels so confident. He has the bomb in sight. He knows exactly where they are. But Stanley has the chance to just come on through, trying to find the angle. Snods, if he moves just an inch further, he'll come into the crosshair, and it's his demise. It's all on Emi here. 88 HP against 2, defuse kit and the utility.
He had one avenue of attack there. That was to get to his jungle before the cross came in. But Stanley somewhat aids him somewhat, sticks in connector, but they get a smoke down. And that makes things that little bit harder for him now. As he's going to walk on through, the minute he faces from bench, that'll be when Stanley peaks and the round is locked up and done. Imi, a excruciatingly tough clutch for him to make. It's practically impossible, and a fair shout, really, for him to try and make it work. But at the end of the day, Zenio will take his head right off, and that is going to be into that one. A quick stomp, really.